Evening all, hope you're well. Got a box opening here today, which we'll get to shortly. This is from a company called Pipe Stud, as I'm sure many of you will have heard of. I think a fantastic company. I've bought a range of tobaccos from them over the last kind of year and a half, and finally pulled the trigger on one which I've been after for quite a while. Yeah, I've opened the package, so yeah, it was fast. But we have a tin of Mcclellan's Christmas cheer. Now, this is something I've been after for quite a long time. It was never really, unfortunately, I started post Mcclellan's after they went out of production, which is extremely unfortunate given the fact all the blends I've tried so far I've absolutely loved. So I wish I had about £100 of each blend in the cellar, because I could just have this and be fine. Regarding Christmas cheer, I have tried 2005, which was at the time would have had 16 years of age in it, so that was just a fantastic smoke. I've tried a few other Mcclellan Virginia's 5100 Red Cake, which is, again, I can't believe that used to be a bulk blend. Again, that's something that I would have loved to have in the cellar in large quantities of pounds of it. And as you may have seen before previously, I've got a selection of the Frogmorton tins, and I cracked Frogmorton, the original, or as some people say, Frogmorton on the log, just last month, and that was a fantastic smoke. But Christmas cheer is like kind of the pinnacle of all those blends. This is 2016. I wanted 2016 because it is, well, the last Christmas cheer was in 2017, but 2016 vintage got a lot of good reviews and it got good praise, so that was one reason to go for 2016. Another is because of its age, or realistically its youth. I could have, for example, for $10 more, bought a tin of the 05, of which I've got a sample of which 05 was fantastic. That would have 16, now 17 years of age in it as of this year. But I wanted a fresher tin because I do plan on opening this at some point this year, maybe for my birthday, I don't know. But the point is I wanted this to age over time. I didn't want to get a tin from, say, I think I saw one from 1996 it was, maybe. Because that's already been aged, that's got 25 years of age on it, around there. It will obviously improve each year and it will give you something new, but this is a blend which I don't plan on having a bowl of every week. It's more of a, maybe 2 or 3 times a year I'll dip into the tin. Again, being in 100 grams, it should last me quite a fair while. Really like the presentation. This is one that I noticed, is you don't get tins like this anymore. Kind of the presentation, nice leaflet talking about the tobacco, the vintage itself, and then just the embossed logo. Yeah, it's a shame that I don't really, of all the tins I've received, especially European tins, but they're all going down you need to have the worn labels across them. If any of you have seen Samuel Gareth tins, they're quite frankly tragic now. Some of the new Samuel Gareth tins, you can't even tell it's Samuel Gareth. I mean, 85%, maybe 90% of tins are health warning, and another 10% is a actual name. Whereas these classic tins, but also the quality of the tins are just fantastic. So yeah, 2016. Virginia, straight Virginia, big into that just now. Really into my Virginias. I've noticed there must be something in there, because I've noticed over the last, get this lid on, break it or not. I've noticed over the last maybe 2-3 months, people that used to smoke Latakia a lot haven't been, and I've been the same. For maybe every 10 pipes, 2 of them have Latakia in them. Whereas, but I think that's because throughout the summer months I was smoking probably more Latakia than anything else, which is for some people is a bit strange. But I'm still enjoying, say, Northwoods 1820 flake, special Latakia flake, plum pudding, Settle Pipe Club, fantastic blend is. But yeah, back onto Mcclellan's. Some people will think, oh, you must have paid a fortune for it, and I really didn't. It also depends on terms of what you want to spend. But again, 4 noggins, I tell you this, I think it was $285, which I mean, again, crazy. Because this tin, before it was shipped, I don't include the shipping because anything from Europe or the States is going to add an extra $10-15 dollars. But again, the shipping on this wasn't bad at all. I think this came to $65, which I think is around about kind of the £50 mark, £45 mark. To put that into perspective, that is a 100-gram tin for, say, let's call it £50. It might be less, it might be a tiny bit more, I'm not sure. But let's call it 50. £50, 100-gram tins is a very, very reasonable price. And I put that to you in the sense that an average tin in the UK now, unfortunately, has gone up about another £1.20, £1.50 in the last year alone. Will set you back 16, just call it £16 for a 50-gram tin. So, simple math, times it by 2, £32 for 100 grams. So to pay an extra £18 for something of this pedigree, of this quality, of this rarity, and now for something which is discontinued and you can no longer get, really isn't bad. I was going to bring down a few cigars for you to also compare it. But again, if you take the UK market, cigars are not cheap. I smoke a lot of Cuban cigars, as some of you may know, and I try not buy them in this country because they're so expensive. I was very fortunate enough to pick up a box of the Ramon Alores number 2 limitadas for 2019 at retail price. They sold out within a matter of hours across the whole country, but I pre-ordered one through a close relationship I have with a cigar shop, and I think that box came in at $2.80 for the box of 10, so £28 a cigar. I don't plan on smoking any of that box, purely an investment. The market already on that, a box of 10 will set you back about £45, £50 a stick, so in turn £450 to £500 a box, and that's gone up in a year. So yeah, that's gone up in about a year and 2 months. So that's been a pretty good investment so far. But my point there is that the Cuban limited editions are seen as kind of the same as this. They come out every year, different brands, different sizes. The point there is that cigar, when it was new, was £28-30 a cigar. So if you times that by 2, just call it 30, that's £60 for 2 cigars. 2 cigars is more than the price of this tin. And again, depending on what size pipe you use and the size of the bowl, the way you fill it, those 2 cigars, say they last an hour and 20 minutes each. That's 2 hours and 40 minutes of time. Whereas this 100 gram tin potentially could yield 28, 30, 32 pipes worth. So that's how I compare and think about what I buy. I did say in a previous video that this year I'm focusing on tobaccos which I want to sell at deep, not wide. That's still true. This was a purchase last year, technically. Although it's arrived this year. But I still stand by that. I will still slowly hunt down, maybe once every year. Maybe this year I might try and get another tin of Christmas cheer before it goes again up and up and up. Also, I paid for this a lot less than normal. It's because Pipes had a flash sale before the end of the new year. Normally you'd pay about an extra $10, $15 on top of this. So that was another incentive to pull the trigger, because it was a great price. But yeah, so if anyone kind of out there thinking they want to try this or chase that, but think, I don't want to pay the extra. It's all, obviously it depends on what you can afford. I can't afford to go out and buy this tin every week. I saved up for this. This was a kind of Christmas treat to myself. I wish I could buy a tin of this every week and just have like 20 of them so I can slowly walk me through them, but I'm just not in the financial position for that, unfortunately. But my point there is that I'm smoking less cigars because in the UK they go up and up tax-wise. Taxing them is just horrendous just now. So I'm focusing more on this stuff. But my point still stands about where, if you put your mind to it, it's all relative and comparative to you. If you smoke cigars, say there's no real Cuban cigars in the UK you can get for £10. There are a few, but they're not very big. One of my favourites actually, the Polo Niagara Monte Carlo, you can get for £9. But that's not everyone's cup of tea. It is definitely mine, a fantastic cigar. But fair, but if you take that, call it £10. 5 of those cigars is the same price as this tin. Now, some people would rather have the 5 cigars, some people would rather have the tin, but to me, I would rather sacrifice those 5 cigars for a tin of this, which will yield much greater time. It's kind of the old way of, if people will buy an expensive pair of shoes or an expensive pair of clothing, say a really nice coat, it comes down to the cost per wear, so how many times you've worn it and kind of what it's cost you per time. I kind of apply the same method to that. I may have rambled on went a bit off topic there, but I hope you can understand what I mean. It's something that I apply to everything in life. When I'm buying certain things, kind of if I want something of a slightly higher quality or something that's more hard to get or more sought after, I think, right, if I don't buy this or if I don't buy these 2 items, I can afford this 1 item. And that's the same thing with this. So yeah, slightly longer than I wanted to, but this will be cracked open some point this year, of which I will do a full first impressions and you say unboxing, you could probably say untinning. Yeah, so this will happen this year, which I look forward to. We'll have to make sure it's a very fitting occasion to crack with him, but I'm sure it will live up to expectations as my other blends from Mcclellan have. So if I wrap up there, I will, depending on when this goes out, I will be doing a workshop tour as like this workshop, this bench I built last week. There's a few other little changes and kind of just go over my setup for the workshop. That will be coming out either tomorrow. Tomorrow will be in Monday or Tuesday, and need to get working on another pipe. Got a few other bits and bobs to do in the workshop. So yeah, hopefully a good week. Hope you guys are well. I'll catch you in the next one.